Alright guys, so the Super Mario Galaxy movie just dropped, and man, I was so excited for this movie. I was like, we're back! Mario's one of my favorite characters of all time, right? He's just a GOAT. His sound effects, the games, everything about him is goated. And so I was so excited for this movie, man. I went into it saying, there's no way it can be worse than the first one, right?
Wrong.
But then I started seeing the reactions to this movie, some of the reviews on it. People were saying, don't take your kids to it. Like, come on, bro. There's no way a movie can be that bad where you don't want to take your own kids basically to a kid movie. Unless it's Hoppers. But look, I was excited, but then I started getting hesitant, right? To see, dang, man, are people really hating on this movie? They think the story sucks. They think it's rushed, you know, too many things in one movie, not enough time. Could they be right? So I started to get a little worried, but I got to the theater. I got my popcorn bucket right here, Yoshi. Look at that. Yeah, clap it up. Look, as a popcorn bucket, it's actually pretty good, right? You got the cool design here. You can set on a shelf or anything, and the popcorn just goes right in there. Honestly, perfect. You know, perfect popcorn bucket for the movie. So I got my Yoshi, you know, only 45 bucks. Anyways, I got my popcorn. I sat down, watched the movie, and all I can say is the movie, it broke me. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a pretty entertaining movie. Look, there are some problems with this movie, I'm not gonna lie, but overall, this was a fun movie. It has very similar elements to the first movie, right? You know, these movies, they just have great visuals, made from Illumination. You also have the returning directors in here, Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. And I say they do a good job trying to keep the same elements and features from the first movie to this one. They do a good job of doing that. And for the cast, you have basically the same people from the last movie, right? We already know who Mario and Luigi and all them are. But you also had Brie Larson as Rosalina, Benny Safdie as Little Bowser Jr. Then there's another character in here, you know, play some Pokemon, try and guess who he is. But he's in here as well as Glenn Powell. And honestly, it was cool to see him, especially some of the music that played with him. And one of the crazy things about this movie is the budget was only $110 million.
You say what?
Like, yeah, the movie's gonna blow those numbers out of the water. Or should I say the galaxy, right? And the story for this movie is just as simple as the last one. But instead of Bowser stealing Peach, it's Little Bowser stealing Rosalina. And from there, Mario and Peach have to go save her. But like I was saying, a lot of people are actually not liking this movie. And as you can see, it has a worse Rotten Tomatoes score than the last one. And I know that's not everything, but it's not just Rotten Tomatoes, right? I've seen multiple people just complaining about this movie, saying the runtime was bad, saying, you know, the story was rushed. Just a bunch of stuff like that. But honestly, after leaving the theater, this movie, in my opinion, was better than the first one. Now, was it a better story? Look, I don't know, but to me, I was more entertained with this. I liked how they explored more things with this movie. I think it's always hard with the first movie, right? Because it's always an origin. You're trying to teach people and trying to show the world. This one, they got the groundwork laid out. They're just exploring everything. All the visuals, Easter eggs. It's like fan heaven, right? Like, there's so many things you see. And even the sound effects. There was times where a song would play or a melody, and it just unlocks a memory in your mind. So this movie just does a good job of just giving you things you want to see. So if you're a fan of the game, you're going to enjoy some of the power-ups and some of the fight scenes in here. Some of the moves that they were doing, I was like, man, brings me back. It brings me back to the days I used to play. And even the action scenes in here, man, some of the fight scenes just brought me back to when I was a kid playing the game. Some of the combos they do, some of the power-ups, and some of the visuals, like when they go sideways and you can see it like you're playing the game. And those scenes, they got to do more of that. Like, those are just, it's literally like childhood unlocked. And even the end, man, they had this fight scene, which isn't shown in the trailers, but golly, it's a good one. It's a good one with their power-ups and whatnot. It's actually a pretty entertaining scene, and what happens with Bowser and Little Bowser and all that happens, it's a good third act. So from the visuals to the characters, the Easter eggs, and even parts of the story, right, it is interesting to see. But if you're a diehard fan, there are some things like Rosalina's backstory that might... I mean, I was watching, I was like, is that really how her backstory is? And then looking it up after, they wanted to change it up. We go from that to other story elements where I feel it was kind of like the first movie where Mario and Luigi were on their own quest. That's kind of what they do in this one. You have Peach on her own quest, Mario on his, and then they try to meet up. But even then you have Bowser on his own quest, and the stories, you know, they're trying to circle around together, and they get there at the end. And I don't know, at times it just feels like, where's the story going? Like, are we going to get to the end? They're trying to throw so much in it. And there's scenes in here where, like, people are chasing after people, and while they're running, it's like they're just passing Easter eggs on purpose. Like, the movie purposely put chase scenes in just so you can see the background, stuff in the background or certain locations. Which I'm not going to lie, I don't think it's bad, but you can tell it's kind of gimmicky. And again, one of the problems is like the movie is kind of rushed and they don't give a satisfying conclusion. The third act kind of finishes and then they just tie it up and then boom, credits. Just like that. It's literally like boom, Mario swings into your credits. And so I think most of the criticisms are right. I think this movie was rushed. You know, an hour and 38 minutes for the runtime. I think they could have done better. They should have at least done 2 hours. It would have been good, more fleshed out. No, but I think most of the criticisms are warranted, but I don't think it's going to detract from the movie itself. I mean, you can say this movie's meant for kids, but it's also meant for us who played the games and grow up with them. And I think either or, you're going to enjoy this movie. But I think for the franchise, this was a step in the right direction. I mean, it could have been better, but they have another movie that they can learn from, which at the end, there's 2 post-credit scenes. You want to stay and watch them. I thought it'd be something different, but what we got, I mean, all right, I guess I'm a little excited. But are you still going to enjoy this movie? You are. You are going to enjoy it. And I was expecting something different at the end, but what we got is fine. It sets us up into the next movie, which I'm just curious to see what it is. You know, they didn't have Donkey Kong in here, which I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but hopefully in the next movie we can have more characters come back, and who knows, maybe Kirby shows up. You know, I wouldn't mind a Kirby popcorn bucket, right? Anyways, guys, those are just my thoughts. If I had to give this a rank, I'm going to give this a Piston Cup. I still think you should go to the movies. I think you'll enjoy it. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. You know, if you're still here till the end, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Comment below if you've seen this, what your favorite part of the movie was, and what your thoughts are for the future of the franchise. With that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.